Every now and then a story comes back around that makes you look at your younger self and say, man, I didn't have the full picture. When I coached Dylan Davis in high school, we butted heads. I thought he wasn't pushing hard enough. I thought he was holding back. I thought he didn't want it the way the other guys did. What I didn't know was that Dylan was fighting a battle called Alpha Gale, a battle inside his own body, a battle he didn't even know the name of yet. And when he left high school, he carried that with him, the frustration, confusion, maybe even a little anger. And then something happened. He joined the U.S. Marine Corps, and the kid I once saw struggling walks out of there like a man with purpose, a man with discipline, a man with a story that matters. Today we're going to talk about that and the things we can't see when we're young, the battles we fight quietly, and the moment we chose who we really are. Dylan Davis is back in room at 1511. I'm so proud to say that today I get to learn from him. So Dylan, welcome to 1511. Tomorrow is the Marine Corps birthday?
Today, actually.
Today is, happy
Filming
birthday.
on the Marine Corps birthday.
Okay, so, that's, full circle here, Marine Corps birthday.
Yeah, 250th today.
250, so it's a big one.
Yeah, huge one.
Okay, so, Dylan, let's talk about what you're doing now. What's life look like for Dylan Davis?
All right, so I'm currently working civil service jobs, waiting to get the call back from Suffolk County Police Department.
Okay.
Continue my service, giving back to the community.
Nice.
I'm also working at a range, teaching people how to shoot, protect themselves.
Isn't that what you did in the Marines? You were a sharpshooter?
No, so my job in the Marine Corps was actually communications.
Really?
So I was a radio and satellite communications guy, and so that's what I'm currently doing now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. The person you became now,
yeah.
How much of that is from the Marines and how much of that was really inside you that the Marines brought out in you?
Okay, well, I think, listen, the Marine Corps is always going to make what they want of you, right? So they're always going to have a blueprint of what they want you to be. They're always going to make you into that. They're perfect at it, right? They've been doing it for 250 years now. But what I will say is that I think each and every one of us has that inside of us, and that we need that to come to the surface, whether it's about being a man or just having the confidence in yourself or just full circle being a good human being at the end of the day, having character. I don't think I had that when I was younger, and I think the Marine Corps brought that out of me.
Okay. I remember you fondly in high school. We did butt heads, but we always did it with a smile. Like we gave each other stupid nicknames and stuff. Yeah. Remember yours?
I do. Yeah.
I used to call him Sprinkles. And I wouldn't dare do that now. Look at his forearms. If you want to show me a little work there. So yeah, I'm intimidated by people like him now. But yeah, Dylan and I got along well. And I wouldn't say you had character in high school. Deep down inside, you just didn't always want to show it. You wanted to give off this persona, which you're trying to find yourselves, and that's what people do. So,
I mean, one of my all-time favorite basketball players is Kobe Bryant, and I think everybody had that, like, oh, I want to be like Kobe, right? And I thought that mentality of kind of giving off that kind of persona was what would have brought me to the next level, and it just didn't end up that way.
I had Rich Race on one of my earlier podcasts, and he said he knew he was in the NBA when he saw Kobe working out for the first time. He said it was other humanly, like he's been around basketball his whole life. And funny story, the guy I played college basketball with was Kobe's high school coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Greg Downer. So they just finished a book about Kobe's high school years.
Yeah.
Greg's prominently in that book. So he's still there. He's won like 3 or 4 state championships in Pennsylvania. So he's had quite a career there. But
I actually got to do a tournament there at high school.
Really?
Freshman year, yeah. At Kobe's high school.
Lower Merion?
Yeah.
So what sparked your decision to enlist in the Marines? I saw that you have a military background. Hey, Dad, I went to grammar school with Dylan's dad, actually. So that talk about full circle moments. Yeah. So was that something you were planning on doing?
Yeah, so I wasn't planning to go to the military. I went to college. I actually went to Florida Southern for a year and a half. COVID hit, I think, what was it, freshman year? Like halfway through freshman year? halfway through freshman year, COVID hit. I was trying to be a walk-on, actually. I don't know if we probably haven't discussed this before, but I was trying
No,
to be a walk-on.
that's a tough school. High
Very,
level Division two.
yes, high level Division two. And when I walked into the coach's office, I tried to be respectful, presentable, whatever. He looked at me, he shrugged me off, and he said, we only take people that we recruit. They're
Yeah.
recruiting their
Yeah.
walk-ons. So that was a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And that definitely changed my perspective on a lot of things. What I will say is that being said, I think a lot of things are destiny. And I just don't think it was in the cards for me to play college basketball. I had D3 offers and I never followed through with them. And I always just had it in me to try and pursue something that was harder.
Well,
and more
where did you get?
challenging.
Where's your flag tattoo you got your senior year or
yeah.
eagle? When you got that, I knew you were
Yeah.
somewhat military bounds at some point in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was,
So I was always patriotic.
yeah.
Right.
I saw what it did to your dad too. So
Yeah. It transforms everybody. And listen, like I'm third generation now. My father did it. I did it, and my grandfather did it. Now,
Yeah.
So, and then we're gonna hopefully get my nephew or my son one day to do it. So.
You have a son or
no, not yet.
It's a different
Thank God.
podcast.
Yeah.
So let's go back to high school.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like going through something that you didn't know really what it was? How frustrating was that? And sort of like me going, you're not running down,
Yeah.
and just beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
And, that must have been really frustrating because
Yeah.
you couldn't articulate what was going wrong or on.
So it was very hard for me to articulate it, right? And it was hard for me to show people all the work that I was putting in outside of practices, being at school. Like coaches don't see that.
Yeah.
Like I would be outside until 10 p.m. every night, getting 500 to 1,000 shots up and running. You know what I mean? Like that, I had it in me, but I didn't feel the need to articulate that. I felt that my actions would show that. And unfortunately, I did get sick, and it affected my play a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember waking up every day and feeling like I had the flu and I got hit by a truck. And it's like, how do you explain that to somebody that isn't?
And you probably didn't even know until you saw it on film, probably.
Correct.
You see it on film, it's like...
Very lethargic, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And even then, it was like, it's just something that was...
Because you had a very strong 9th grade year and 10th grade year, so, we were looking for that, ascending, and it must... I know you wanted to be better than anybody. You were playing every weekend in the tri-state area, going all over the place to play, and, I just... Coach Carlson and I were just talking about this the other day, how really bad we felt for you that you had this thing, you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I wasn't there senior year. You handled it with class. Like, I didn't see any, displays, which,
Which 10th and 11th grade, that was an often thing.
No, but still.
It was.
No.
I had my moments.
You had moments, but, I'm dealing with what you were dealing with. It's 110%. This is why you're here.
Yeah.
It's acceptable. I want you to understand that I didn't do a great job with that, and with you, and I look back on it, I feel, maybe I could have asked more questions instead of just been, ripping you and, trying to make you so mad at me, you're going to prove me wrong and play great. And
it worked sometimes.
And you had some great moments. And, it's just, but that's high school. So we moved.
My favorite time playing for you, I don't know if you remember this game, it was against your sons. Yep. You remember when they threw the balls disrespectfully on the side of the court?
Yeah.
And I think I had like 20-something that
game. You had a big game.
I was a beater.
I remember you got shot, you got hit, taking the three-pointer at the end of the half, and then a guy got a technical, and you hit 5 foul shots in a row. And we didn't have a lot of good moments in that locker room, but that night was definitely one of them. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Before the diagnosis, what did you think was wrong with you?
Growing up, it was more of like, if you had internal pain like that, to just kind of shrug it off, wake up and show up. As a man, that's your duty, right? So that's kind of what the Marine Corps obviously falls.
And your brother's not...
Brother is not a... Yeah, he is.
He's not a
He is.
teetotaler,
Right,
so
right,
he's telling you what's up. Your dad's telling you what's up.
right.
So you're hearing it in stereo,
Yeah,
and that must have sucked.
yeah. No, it wasn't terrible. I think it brought me to the place where I was ready for the Marine Corps.
Mhm.
Because like I have all these influences where it's like they're being hard on me, and people think that tough love isn't good anymore. I think that's exactly what people need, especially like you're callousing somebody,
Yeah.
a young individual, to make them
Well,
who they are.
Carlson is coaching 7th and 8th grade now.
Okay.
Perfect. Those kids love him.
Yep.
He's just, ripping them, but,
Yep.
in an appropriate way. And
Yep.
just, they love playing for him, and the parents love him. So
Yep.
it's good stuff. After you get the diagnosis, how do you feel? You relieved that you know what it was?
Well,
And,
so
screw you guys. I did have something wrong with me.
putting a name to the face
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, that definitely helps cope with it. But then it was like, what's next? Like basketball isn't my thing anymore. I put my whole middle school and high school life into basketball. So now I have to find purpose somewhere else. And that's kind of what led me to the Marine Corps eventually, but college at first, and it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think college was for me either, but, thankfully my parents let me stay, and I sort of grew out of that and figured it out by the time I was a senior.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Marines.
Yeah.
First day.
Yeah.
What do you see? Like, are you kicking yourself in the ass?
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell did I get into?
So
You probably had a good idea from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pops helped me understand what's going to happen. It's going to be a culture shock, right? As soon as I get off the bus, they're keeping us up for 3 days, and it just from there it's on, and we're checking into receiving and everything that they're doing to us, cutting our hair, and just so the first couple of days really is they're kind of getting you prepared for what's about to happen, and it's still like a culture shock just getting there, right? The first couple of days to keep you up, obviously. I remember the third day. So you have two separate pairs of drill instructors. You have receiving drill instructors who take care of you up until the point they hand you off to your drill instructors for the whole cycle. And the receiving drill instructors are a little, I don't want to say softer, but it's not Marine Corps boot camp.
They're more welcoming.
They're more welcoming, but it's not welcoming.
Yeah.
It's just they're never going to be welcoming.
Bad choice of words.
Yeah. But they are not on top of you like the real drill instructors are. And everybody there is kind of like, oh, I could do this forever, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember the last night they put me on fire watch. So fire watch is when you have to stay up in the middle of the night and make sure nobody breaks in or tries to hurt themselves or anything like that. And the drill instructor put me on watch. He comes up to me, and it was a receiving drill instructor at this point. And he goes, what's with your tattoo? And I actually had a tattoo for my grandfather, which anybody that's been through the Marine Corps process, that's never good. And I remember him looking me in the eyes, like with a death stare. And he's like, you're going to die for that. That's what he said.
They don't like tattoos?
Tattoos in general is frowned upon, right? But I had a Marine Corps tattoo before going to Marine Corps boot camp.
Oh.
So it had
faked your valor.
Yes, that's what they were saying.
Oh, that's, yeah.
So, but they're always going to find that. Right?
Yeah.
So they found something. He saw it when we were in the showers, and he said, you're going to die for that. That's what he said. And I didn't know what he meant by that. And then the day after, I found out what he meant by that, So, yeah. But I think people need to be calloused as individuals, At the time, high school, I wasn't able to react to it. And now I think the Marine Corps made me prepared for anything,
Yeah.
Well, the next chapter.
That's one thing. Like, my Marine Corps was my boar's head route. I work by myself. And it was tough physical labor. And I always say to myself, if I'm ever in a situation, you drove a truck 18 hours a day in the summer by yourself, you can do anything, I'm sure.
Correct.
That must be your mentality.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Swilling and bologna is a little different.
Yeah. But it's still got you to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Right? I think everybody needs that event in their life. And it doesn't have to be the Marine Corps, man. There's people working 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, raising a family.
Yeah.
That's harder than what I do. I'm not raising a family right now, So.
Well, maybe if you shave that mustache, maybe you have a better shot. Was there a moment in boot camp where you thought it was going to break you, where, like they say everyone has that moment?
Yes.
That officer and a gentleman moment.
Yes. Yeah. So, believe it or not, I was tough to break. The drill instructors gave
No,
me
I'm
credit
sure.
for it. I was tough to break. I was mentally tough
No, I'm sure.
at that time, just because of, obviously I was prepared. Obviously, my father gave me some insight, and it's all kind of a, I don't want to say an act, but it's a mind game,
Yeah.
right? So to break through to somebody that understands what's going on to them is a little more difficult. But there was one moment where they were like, "This is what's getting you." Like this is like, and it was just a normal day, but I guess I was just having a bad day.
Mhm.
You know, it was about a month or two in, so hanging on by a thread at this point, right? And I remember breaking down. You know, like, and they were ITing me, so it's called incentive training. That's when they bring you to the pit and they're smoking you, and I was getting smoked all day. I got smoked a lot because of my
What does
tattoo.
smoke mean?
So incentive training. So they'll make you do a workout and they'll kind of scream at you. They do it separate times throughout the day. They did it to me quite often because of my tattoo. Definitely didn't help. And then every time somebody else messed up, whether it was my rack mate or something, I got IT'd for that too. So they found a lot of excuses to do it, right? And then that day I was just having a bad day. I wasn't feeling good, whatever it was. Mentally, I was checked out. But once you get to that point where they break you, it's all downhill from there. Because you already know it doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Did the Marines change any of your relationships with your family or friends?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it makes it, obviously I became closer to my father because he kind of understands where I'm at mentally.
Yeah, sure.
And then, but you know, I think even my brothers got a little closer to me. They respected me a little more because of what I went through. But it's very hard to relate to people after that.
Sure.
Because it's a very hard process that not many people understand. And
yeah, and then you see somebody complaining about their latte.
Their $7 latte.
And that they didn't put the right foam in there. You want to wring somebody's neck. And speaking of friends, I ran into your boy Matty Goncalves. He sent his regards. He's
I saw him at the wake the other day.
Oh, you were there? I was there.
Yeah.
I must have missed you. I went early.
Yeah.
He looks good.
He does.
He looks big.
And he's huge, dude. He's doing great. He's doing. Hopefully, he wins the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah,
that'll be awesome.
They're doing fantastic. I think what Pitt did to him is sort of Marine-like.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a transformation because I remember being friends with him, and his mentality might have been a little different.
Sure. Oh,
100%.
He was never pushed to that point in Manorville, right? He's playing against a 6'2".
What, any of them?
No.
Right.
Yeah. Did the Marines teach you anything about yourself that you didn't know before?
Anything about myself I didn't know before?
I think you always had that confidence in yourself. I always thought that you had a confidence in yourself.
Too much.
Well, like you said, you had that persona where you sort of like, I got it under control, or maybe, a lot of high school kids do that, where maybe they don't. But, okay. There's a lot of kids now that are stuck. We're going to give some advice to the younger generation that are stuck. They don't know where they fit in. They maybe think that life's passing them by. They didn't hit their moment yet. They're sitting in classrooms and locker rooms all over. What do you say to those kids?
Don't give up. Have that mentality to push through and know where you want to be in life. Find that purpose. Everybody needs purpose. Once you find that purpose, you will have whatever you're looking for.
I've been a big proponent. You got to set goals and you got to find that, like this stupid podcast thing. This is my purpose now in retirement. Like, I was like, what am I going to do now? Now, it's not going to make me a millionaire or anything, but it's going to keep me connected to people that are important to me and get some good stories out. So, that I totally agree with that. What would you tell kids today about patience and timing? Like, some kids expect it to happen in high school. They think that's a culmination. High school wasn't it for you. So what would you tell them about patience and timing?
Well, patience, I think destiny is a huge thing. People need to understand once they let go of them controlling their destiny and knowing that destiny is going to happen, however it's so fit to them, I think they'll be a lot more content with life.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah.
Very profound. What do you say to the kid? This was probably me in high school. If it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen.
I think if you peak in high school, I think there's a huge issue.
Yeah.
that's.
We knew a couple of guys.
Yeah. Don't peak in high school, man.
Yeah.
Even if you do, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? All jokes aside. But peaking in high school is High
Well,
school's
as
not
long
the
as
be all end all.
you're
Bills.
still striving for the next thing, that's the most important thing.
I think your peak should come when you're passing.
Yeah.
Honestly, you want to chase that
Well,
your whole life.
that's
Always
I started my podcast with a phone with a cracked screen in a doctor's office, like in June. It just came into my head, back to class with Mr. H, and
Yeah.
and then it just started from there. And like all the tech I've had to learn, and all like
You're
I
always building that.
yeah,
Right?
but I
Yeah.
can't believe the things that I haven't let stop me. Like for this, I have a whole new camera configuration. See the tape?
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be like that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do anything I can to get it done. And you want to show your kids that life is always about the next thing. I'm 61. Your dad's 61. 61 looked a lot different when we were kids. You almost had the walker. Now, your dad's doing. I shouldn't say what he's doing.
Doing burpees in the morning.
Yeah, he's kicking butt and taking names. So
Or because I gotta be on his ass,
yeah,
I gotta be his drill instructor now.
yeah, role reversal.
Yeah.
Okay, Dylan, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Look into the camera.
Okay.
Talk to your 16-year-old self.
Oof.
What
That's tough.
What do you
That's
say
tough.
to him?
Can I speak freely?
Yes.
I can speak freely.
No F-bomb.
No F-bomb. Okay.
Okay.
We have this saying in the Marine Corps, it's DBAB, and you'll understand that later in life. Don't be a bitch.
Okay.
Don't be a bitch. Yeah. Just push through. Whatever you're dealing with now, it's not even going to pale in comparison to what you're going to deal with in life.
Awesome. It's funny. You think you're teaching kids how to compete, how to show up, how to work, and then life takes them somewhere really hard, somewhere really real. And then he comes back and teaches you. Dylan, I'm really proud of who you became, and I'm honored you came back to class to share it with us here.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. You're the man. All right, back to class with Dylan. Dylan's got a little adult beverage. I have my beer. Now you have to say the Marine, was it Semper Fi? I can't say that.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. What is that?
Do or die. Semper
Die.
Fidelis, always faithful.
Yeah, it looked like that shot did real well for you.
Oh, yeah. It's treating me real well.